So Chuck knows this, but and some of you do, but that is my absolute favorite hymn in the Christian tradition. And every year on the last Sunday of Advent, I usually don't tell Chuck what to sing or what to lead, but I want that one. Because that is the Canticle of Mary set to an old Irish song, actually an old Irish drinking song. And I love that song. So thank you for singing it. I always appreciate it. Our gospel lesson today is from, or our second gospel lesson really, is from Luke chapter 1, verses 39 through 45. Please rise in spirit or in body for the reading of the gospel. You know, Lord Mary. Mary got up and hurried to a city in the Judean highlands. She entered Zechariah's home and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the child leaped in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. With a loud voice, she blurted out, "God has blessed you above all women, and he has blessed the child you carried. Why do I have this honor? That the mother of my Lord should come to me. As soon as I heard your greeting, the baby in my womb jumped for joy. Happy is she who believed that the Lord would fulfill the promises he made to her." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Let's pray. Almighty God, may the words of my mouth and indeed the meditation of all of our hearts be acceptable to you, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. You may be seated. So I don't sing well, but I sing a lot. I wake up singing. You can ask Paige, who does not wake up singing, but I wake up singing a lot and sing pretty much all day. And I've developed this habit that I used to make fun of my dad for. That he would, anything you said to him, he would break out in song, some song that reminded him of what you just said. And I would get so annoyed with him for years, and now I do that constantly. I make a music playlist for everything. For every holiday, for every event. I have a workout playlist that I don't listen to nearly enough. I have a playlist for Thanksgiving. I have a playlist for Pentecost. I have a playlist for Christmas. I have a playlist for when we drive to New Orleans. I have a playlist for everything. I have a playlist for Advent. I listen to this every Advent. And my playlist for Advent includes one of the most perfect Advent songs by that great theologian poet Tom Petty. The waiting is the hardest part. The waiting is the hardest part. That is why Advent is so frustrating. It's all about waiting, preparing, getting ready for what's coming, living in between. Living in between Jesus' incarnation and return. Living in between God's promises and the fulfillment of those promises. We're all ready to zoom straight to Christmas, straight into Christmas, but we're not there just yet. Advent teaches us, wait. To wait in hopeful expectation. To wait while singing. Nothing exemplifies this like the Magnificat, like Mary's song. There is no good reason for Mary to sing in this moment. She lives in as difficult a position as a person could find themselves in 2,000 years ago. Or now. She lives in a poor backwater village in an occupied country. She is young, unmarried, pregnant in a culture where that is deadly. The priests and prophets have announced that God has promised a deliverer, but that deliverance seems far off, if it's even possible. She lives in between the promise and the fulfillment. And she lives in fear. Fear for her own life. Fear for her people. Fear for her world. And so, she goes to see her relative Elizabeth. Elizabeth, who has had her own struggles. And when Mary walks in, Elizabeth and the child who will be John recognize that Mary's child is the one who is promised. And that Mary is blessed above all people. Blessed. Even though it doesn't feel like it in that moment, blessed. Blessed because she bears God's promises in herself. Blessed because she is proof that God is not far away. Blessed because God keeps God's promises. And she sings. She sings. In the depths of who I am, I rejoice in God, my Savior. God has looked with favor on the low status of God's servant. Look, from now on, everyone will consider me highly favored because the Mighty One has done great things for me. Holy is God's name. God shows mercy to everyone from one generation to the next who honors God as God. God has shown strength with God's arm. God has scattered those with arrogant thoughts and proud inclinations. God has pulled the powerful down from their thrones and lifted up the lowly. God has filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich away empty-handed. God has come to the aid of God's servant Israel, remembering God's mercy, just as God promised to our ancestors, to Abraham and to Abraham's descendants forever. Whenever I hear someone say, well, don't politicize Christmas, I wonder if they've ever actually listened to the words of Mary's song. When Luther translated the Bible into German, he left the Magnificat in Latin because the German princes took such a dim view of the mighty being brought low. Similarly, when Thomas Cranmer translated the Latin liturgy into English, he left all the canticles in Latin because the royals did not like what Mary had to say. The powerful have never wanted to hear this song. But the point, see, is that she sings. She sings. She's not timid. She's not nervous, but she sings boldly. She proclaims the future that God has promised, that God has scattered the arrogant, that God has pulled the powerful down, that God has lifted up the lowly, that God has filled the hungry, that God has sent the rich away. Pay attention to the language there. Not that God will do those things, but that God has done those things, that God does those things. Mary is between the promise and the fulfillment, but she sings anyway. Because she believes that God is faithful. And she will live and love and celebrate and sing with hope and with courage. And the world still hears her song. As we take in the world today, 2,000 years later, Mary's song can still seem like wishful thinking. The arrogant don't seem too scattered. The powerful are still on their thrones. The hungry are not full. Yet today, we are still invited to sing along with Mary. Because we know that God's day is coming. we know that God's promises will not be left unfulfilled. So God calls us to sing Mary's song of faith, of hope, of justice, to join together in harmony, to sing. Even if you don't really have a good voice like me, even if you can't carry a tune in a bucket, you sing anyway. Like the one who quietly serves meals at a homeless shelter. They are singing with Mary. The one who runs a daycare center for children affected by the HIV/AIDS epidemic. They are singing with Mary. The one who sends notes of encouragement to the sick and bereaved. They're singing with Mary. The ones who work for the rights of the poor. They are singing with Mary. The one who struggles to remove the barriers of sexism or racism or any other ism. They are singing with Mary today. And when we move and act as members of God's reign, even when that reign is not clear at that moment, even when it seems like it is impossible, we sing Mary's song. We sing Mary's song. And the world can hear it. Can the world hear us singing today? In the name of God the Father,